What is up, everyone? I just remembered that I didn't do a podcast episode the other day. I've been slacking on that really hard. First off, it's been a bit of a wild week. It's actually been a wild couple of days. It's been like a wild couple of hours actually. I can easily say without a doubt in my mind that as I said multiple times before, I do feel like mental health is definitely like something that we should like focus on a national level because like there's a lot of things that I just like we really don't like. I feel like as adults we tend to forget that like the same stuff that probably riled us up when we were kids will probably rile us up a little bit more when we're adults. Like if we like kids and adults still cry. You know what I'm saying? Kids and adults still get angry. Kids and adults still don't like certain things. And while kids and adults also like things, we don't become completely different people just because we became adults. And I find that to just be a little. I find a little unsettling that we tend to think that because we are of higher age now, we're somehow just like incapable of just being ridiculously as obnoxious as we were when we were children. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm bringing up age and stuff like this is because of the fact that it's I realize now that pictures, like when you're a kid, you get more like you're gonna be more prone to want to read picture books than you probably would want to read books that don't have pictures in them. You know what I'm saying? And like we convey an emotion from pictures. We try to understand what the picture means, and then we try to sort of basically put our own understanding on what a picture means, and we do that with everything. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the difference between logic and emotion. Logic is being able to see something and being like, oh, that's a thing, and emotion is basically trying to build a connection with that thing. You know what I mean? Like emotion is basically an extension of logic. It's basically being able to say, okay, this is a thing. Now, why is this thing relevant to me in some fashion? Like, for example, you're probably looking at me and you're saying black guy on the internet. I'm angry at him because he's a black man on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making a joke about the fact that the Republic, like, I get a lot of like because I'm a black dude, I'm gonna get like a whole bunch of like racists that's gonna pop up and be like, black. You know what I mean? But the reason why I'm talking about pictures and like stuff like that is because obviously I believe that the thing was staged. I believe that the thing that happened, the shooting that happened at Donald Trump's rally, I believe that it was staged, 1,000,000%. I believe that it was staged because like the dude has been known to stage things before. You got to remember his first couple of rallies that he got, he bought like central casting actors to act like his rally was a bigger deal than it was because nobody was coming to his rallies because just like how nobody came to his trial, except for like a couple of other Republicans stuff like that. Oh boy, but like my whole thing is that like it just kind of sort of stresses me out and frustrates me a little bit that like like we're seeing it like the reason why I believe that it was staged, is because of the fact that like there's way first off like there's way too many instances where like first off if there's a shooting going on, everybody's running, everybody's panicking, but also you're laying low when you're being carried out, just so whatever whoever's shooting won't get your head. You know what I mean? You're laying low. You're not out there like yeah, you know. That's wild. You're not making yourself as big as possible to make yourself an easier target. You make yourself as small as possible so you can make sure that nobody is. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that to say that. I mean, I've never been president before. I've never like. I have I been shot at? I would probably remember if I got shot at. I want to say I got shot at once. But the fact of the matter is that like at the end of the day, like I say, you're trying to make yourself into a smaller target. So it's like it's kind of weird, like and also let's be real, and also you saw the video. They're just huddling around him. They're not trying to get him off stage. They're huddling around him. It's like, and people are like, well, some people actually did die during that rally, and I'm not disqualifying. I'm not discounting their lives. I'm not saying that people. I'm not saying that like oh, that those people's lives didn't matter because everybody's lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Am I right? Right? But the fact of the matter is that like this is like Republicans have basically made it very clear that they're willing to take away as many lives as they can just for the sake of winning. I mean, these are the same people who saw a whole bunch of children's lives in a massacre at a school and decided to use that as a means to try to pledge their case that more people should have firearms. I mean, like, it's not us you should be telling this to about, oh, a whole bunch of people died during the rally. You know what I mean? Whether or not the shooter was Republican is irrelevant to me. But the fact of the matter is that, like, I do find it kind of weird that, like, a whole bunch of people was like, well, liberals are a bunch of blue-haired lesbians who have absolutely no muscle mass and no understanding about how a car works, and they also want all the guns to be like taken away from America in the process. They also don't touch grass too often because they're too busy on their goddamn phones. But suddenly, Donald Trump gets like targeted, by a shooter, and all of a sudden is these liberals who did all that other stuff. Screw all that. They did this. What changed, pal? But that's what I'm saying. It's just as wild, man. It's just crazy to me. But like I said, I managed to make peace with the fact that these people are, like these people, like they're willing. They don't care. They don't care about how they win. They just try to win, bro. And I just like, I can't. And if you follow my thing, if you followed this long enough, you know how I feel about Donald Trump, his party, his supporters, everything about the right wing in general. You know how I feel about them. But like, I don't want the guy to die. I don't want anything like, I don't want the guy to get smoked out of existence. But I do want him and his entire party to just start losing power. I wish that there was some sort of wake up call to realize, hey, these guys are the bad guys. Get them out of power, or at least like motivate people to actually run for things. Like, if you don't want to vote, fine, run for something. Like, one thing that we tend to forget is that we're all politicians here. We're all politicians. You know what I'm saying? If you take part in the political process, you are also a politician. You might not know anything about what's going on in America politically, but the fact is you do, because you do take part in political stuff. Guess what qualifies as political stuff? Everything. Buying stuff is political because money is free speech. You're giving free speech to a corporation, which is a person. So you're granting a person free speech, your portion of free speech. Working is political. Having like labor, because of labor unions, because of the fact that, like, the government is in charge of how much you get. The government is ultimately in charge of how much you get paid. Well, not the government, the corporation. The government is in charge of the corporation that pays you. But if the government is not in charge of the corporation that pays you, the corporation can do whatever they want. If they wanted to, they can just pay you $20 an hour to work all day. They can pay you $20 just in general to work all day. You know how I know this? Because they've done it before. There's like I don't know if you know this or not, but there's been news about kids working jobs, like working adult jobs, like being registered cash register at McDonald's and stuff like that. Look it up. These are things that happen, and try to figure out exactly why those things are happening. I don't want this to be about politics. I really don't. But I just figured that this is something to like just look into, because once again, I can't stress this enough. We're all politicians. I'm a politician. You're a politician. Everybody's a politician. So because everybody's a politician, everybody should either start voting or start running. Well, what if I don't win? Then you don't care about politics. Then you don't care about politics if you care about winning and losing. It's politics, not a game. You're gonna lose sometimes. That's what happens. You're gonna lose sometimes. That's what happens. If what you're trying to do is relevant enough, it's not about you. I mean, it's gonna ultimately be about how charismatic you are. But it's like, if what you're doing is relevant enough and meaningful enough, you'll win. And if not, who cares? Just run again if you got the money. Mm. But all right. So, but I wanted to like go ahead and actually talk about my personal life right now, because like, once again, I'm actually really, really, really bummed out. I'm hyper depressed right now. I'm really, really, really sad actually. And the big reason why is because, I have been looking for another job. Like, my current job right now is actually doing me a little bit right by giving me a little bit more hours and stuff like that. But I almost lost this place. I almost lost my apartment because, I don't know what it is, but my Cash App was not working. So I couldn't really get the other half of rent from my roommate. So I had to basically just sort of like beg my landlady to just sort of like, just give me an extension on it. They granted the extension. They granted the extension. I gave them the money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here for, one more month and everything like that. But I was really still kind of sad because of the fact that the big reason why this happened was because my Cash App wasn't working, and no way for me to get the money from my roommate was working. He's not here right now. He's in another city. He's in another city. He works like this. He works crazy hours at this other job. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of bums me out. Like, if I didn't get the money from my roommate, I would be just ridiculously screwed right now. You know what I mean? It's like, I never felt so powerless in my life, or rather, I feel powerless like this all the time, and it just hurts every single time. Some good water, man. But yeah, I mean, I am looking for another job. I am trying to get another job, and I was apparently told that I did get hired for this other job. Apparently, like they liked the interview. They liked how I did. And they gave me, apparently they gave it to whoever to go processing, and I think I got the job. And the reason why I stress I think is because I, nobody said anything. Like nobody has said anything. I've been trying to figure out like, what else is there anything else I have to do? Is there anything I have to work on, or is like what's going on? It's like I'm trying to, and it's like, I mean, granted, a hurricane just sort of ran through, so a lot of power has been down, and that part I get. But it was like I applied for this job, like I interviewed for this job way earlier than when way earlier before all of this. So it's like what's happening right now? Is there anything I need to do any further? And I mean, I was told just wait. And that is like that. Like I feel powerless knowing the fact that I can't do anything to sort of accelerate this new job that I apparently have. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm just. It's like I mean I still need more money though. I need to be able to access more money. It's like I'm trying to get my life together. I gotta pay for this car. I gotta pay for I gotta get some new glasses. I gotta do. And I'm trying to get a new. I want to get a new place at some point. You know what I'm saying? I do want things to actually go the way that I needed to go, and this job is apparently the way to do it. And do I have it or not? You know, I'm also really bummed out about the fact that this is like if not for my car, I would probably have had if not for my car, I would probably have more money to save up because my car is the most expensive thing I pay money for. You know what I mean? But I need the car because if I don't have it, how am I going to get around to where I need to go to? And that's why I'm such an advocate for 15-minute cities. For people who don't know, 15-minute cities is like picture a city where every place you need to go to is like walking distance from you. Like like think of a think of a think of a military base. Um, think of a military base. You know what I'm saying? Go over there, do what you got to do. But you can also, but it's like it's not that far away. You could probably like ride your bike to where you need to go to if you wanted to. You see what I'm saying? You know, obviously there's going to be some military bases that's going to be like much bigger than others. But the military bases I remember being at, I could like if I wanted to, I could just walk to where I needed to go to because it wasn't that far. Or rather, the furthest like if something is a 15-minute drive away on foot, that's at least like a literal actual hour. So like an hour walk. I mean, that's working. That's exercise, man. For some people, I'm just saying. It's just like I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the idea of like I don't mind driving. I just don't like the idea of driving because I personally hate driving. I hate driving where I need to go to. If like if it was up to me, if I had the money, I would just be driven everywhere for as long as I can because I know how to drive, but I don't like driving. You know, but but and also because my car is expensive, man. I gotta pay gas, car note, car insurance, and car warranty. You probably don't need to pay that car warranty. Yes, I do. You don't understand. You don't understand. Don't talk about it. Um. So yeah, there's that. But like, outside of that though, what I'm saying, I am feeling a little bit better. My girlfriend hasn't dumped me yet. I'm still keeping up with like my old friends. I'm trying to work out a little bit more. I am trying to read a little bit more. I am trying to like, move up a little bit, like, with I'm trying to move myself up like mentally and stuff like that. Just try to get myself like out of the slump that I'm in, because Reality of Wrestling had a big event the other day, and I couldn't go because of money. And like literally, the event that they're gonna have next month will literally mark a year that I've been here in Texas. A year, and I'm nowhere close to where I was a couple months ago to becoming the big time wrestler that I'm aiming to be. And I'm really bummed out and frustrated and sad about that. But like, I'm also optimistic that like hopefully, with this being the lowest part of my day and this being the lowest part of my life, hopefully things can actually move forward for me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that this is the lowest point, because I don't want to go any lower than this. I'm optimistic. I am looking towards better, and I'm gonna, like, I'm looking towards better. I'm gonna try to work towards better, but I'm not, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm already there. I'm successful. I'm gonna be a big deal. That's delusion. I'm not doing that. But I am willing to like meet myself halfway and say, I am working towards improving things for myself. So there's something to look into. Like, I'm a little gloomy and doomy right now because also I'm a little tired. But yeah, that's about it. By the way, um, by the way, you know, I appreciate anybody. I appreciate y'all watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing subscribers. Because like people don't like my stuff, which I don't really mind. Like, I'm not really that I'm not really that obsessed about having a whole bunch of subscribers. If I make it to 10K, that'd be great. But if not, no big deal. But like my whole thing is that like I did like the idea of people actually watching my stuff and supporting me. But if not, no big. I don't care. Some good water, man. Um, I don't really know what else to say right now. This is kind of scattered. Normal. I had like a whole thing I was gonna do too, and I just forgot it. Um, so I'm just gonna cut it here. Love, peace, and happiness to every single person out there. You know what I'm saying? Be nice to each other. Treat each other with respect. I mean, like, kindness is punk rock. You know what I'm saying? Be punk rock. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that thing was staged. Love and peace, y'all.